Hey, it's Scotty Braun and Todd Frazier for your best of Foul Territory. Our second full week of the show was again loaded up with guests. Frazier, what was your favorite part?
Had to be Max Scherzer. He's breaking down film on how he's going to pitch, how he's going to improve pitching and get the hitters off balance. You got to watch this.
Yeah, he's going to mess with the pitch clock. Also a senior member in the league, Rich Hill, had some fire. Get ready for that too. Let's run it.
Betterment of the game, Rich Hill rule needed.
Right now. Make a consistent product for everybody. Make a consistent product. Make the baseball consistent for the hitters and the pitchers. And that is both sides of the ball. We've seen it over the 16. We want to talk about pitchers enhancing grips. How about the baseball being enhanced for the amount of home runs that went through the roof? Me personally, I could care less. Make the same ball. I don't like seeing guys throttle a ball and getting it flown out to the warning track because I don't believe that that's fair either. But I also think that when you throw a breaking ball on top of the plate and a guy front foots it and he hits it over the monster, you're going, what the hell was that? What was that? Right? Am I right?
Totally. You're totally like, but keep going with that.
Well, there's my rule. Make a consistent baseball. Make a consistent baseball.
Hey, Freddie, you were known as Fastball Freddie, right? When you first came up because you threw like 90% fastballs. Can we take that nickname away from you now? Because you're throwing a lot of sliders and curveballs and a bunch of junk now. You're like a junk baller now.
But what's the nickname?
I don't know.
Hey, you know what? I like the nickname, but I knew that in some point it's going to change. It's going to happen. You know, this game is about adjustments.
That's because nobody could hit your fastball, so you just reared back and just threw it. Like, nobody could hit it. You're like invisible.
And there's two versions. There were two versions.
I know, but nobody could hit it.
I know. Now he's full menu.
Yeah, but, hitters make adjustments, man.
Full menu.
You know how it is. Hitters make adjustments.
We've seen in spring training, we saw a game actually ended because of the pitch clock. If that actually happened in the regular season game where you got a big moment in a big moment in a regular season game, we're going to end the game because of pace. I can't subscribe to that because that's outside the scope of what this was pitched as. That we're trying to clean up the dead time within the game, not change the game. And so when you start changing the results of game because of the punishment that you need to implement this, that's where you kind of lose me of saying that we need a clock.
Great clubhouse speech. I sat there and nodded along, didn't know a single word they said, and we went out and had the time of our lives.
So wait. So the meeting was in Spanish?
Yeah, I told him, and our post game was in Spanish. I told him. He looked at me. He was like, "I'll do it for English after." There's a couple of us that only speak English, and I was like, "No, dude, in Spanish." And he went through the whole thing. They hyped it up. All I knew was there was a couple words in there like tequila and fiesta, and I was like, dude, we're gonna drink and party. This is gonna be sick. All right, I'm in on this.
We're both Eagles fans, okay? It was a good year. You know that. You know it was a good year. I could care less. We're not talking about football right now. What was your favorite Rihanna song from the Super Bowl? Because you were out there and you just said Rihanna. I think you hands clapping, or I don't know what you said.
I did. That's one of my only tweets over the last several.
You're so active. You're so active on social media.
This is embarrassing, but I'm sure she played Umbrella, right?
You didn't watch it?
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, and I was just like, boom. So I don't know what stands out as my favorite. I just loved the whole thing. I thought it was great.
So give us a few lines from Umbrella. Just give us.
Under my umbrella, hey.
I even like that. You danced too.
Were you part of the crowd that was out till 3 a.m. in downtown Phoenix after the game? Just Viva Mexico, the whole deal. Or did you actually come home and be a good boy?
Well, that's up for debate. I got family here. We were celebrating. I might not have been downtown, but we were celebrating.
Okay, good. Well deserved.
You can't just sit at home and do nothing after that.
Tiger and I were in college together. He was at Stanford, and we both got hurt at the same time. So he hurt his knee. I hurt my shoulder. We're in the training room. I know who he is. There's no way that I know who he is. We start talking golf, and one thing that about all of us in baseball is we think we know a lot more about other sports than we really do. right? Like, we always get mad at people that talk about baseball as if they're experts, but we will certainly tell you what play should be run in football, how you should play this golf hole, who should be doing this, who should be doing that. So with Tiger, everything was a bet. So every time something would happen, he would want to take you to the driving range, and he would want you to have putting contest or whatever. And there was one time in college where he took me to the practice facility late at night, maybe a few adult beverages, and we were going to have a putting contest, and I made one and called the contest off because I was like, that way I beat Tiger Woods. This was before he was an amateur champion, but we kind of knew, we didn't know he was going to be the greatest ever to play, but we knew he was going to be a big deal. And so we'd go back and forth. We dated roommates for a while and got to hang out a little bit. And we've reunited at Stanford a couple times. And then in 2017, he's a big Dodger fan, and so I saw him in the front row at Dodger Stadium. So some Tiger Woods stories, a few pictures I can't share on social media, and a lot of good banter.
So what's the response you received from the commissioner when you say, hey, like, can we get a consistent baseball because it changes every year? What's the problem? Like, it's 2023. It's not a smartphone.
Right. And well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, we have the technology to do it. The problem is what I've been told is that this baseball, the last stitch, has to be inverted. And the only way to do that is by a human. And, you know, all four of us could make a baseball, and they're going to be four different baseballs. That's basically what is happening, because they're all being tied and pulled by a human. And everybody has different, you know, approach to lacing a baseball, or to the way that they're going to put the pressure on the laces. You know, and I think that that's something that obviously has to come to an answer. And I, you know, I don't know if they're working on it or they're making it, trying to improve it, but according to you know, Rob, they are. So hopefully sooner than later we can see a more consistent product.
Sometimes if you're a younger guy and you're still trying to understand the pitchers, you know what I mean? So there's a concept to that too. So you got to find, is that more homework you got to do? Is that talking to a guy like you? Like what's the difference there?
I just think it's a learning curve for everybody. You know, maybe there are guys that don't want to use the pitch com. I'm sure there's guys that do want to use the pitch com. Maybe there's veterans that are willing to use it more. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. But I also think we need to write some rules around the scope of this and make sure that we contain this where it is now. That it should only be players on the field that can have one of those communicators. We need to write in the rules right now and nip this in the bud that somebody on the bench couldn't be doing this, because I don't want to see a slip. I see a slippery slope here that all of a sudden the front offices and pitching coaches are going to start, you know, calling in the pitches, and that's the last thing that I want to see have happen.
But right now you can't do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But, you know, once this let's say this becomes popular, like, okay, pitchers, you know, can start calling their own pitches, then, you know, what's next? And so let's write the rule in now saying, no, under no pretenses do we ever foresee this happening, where the pitches or front office or anybody can call a pitch for a pitcher.
He's the best, man. You know, there were so many times last year where, you know, we'd be, you know, celebrating a win, maybe doing our belt ceremony, and I stand right next to him when we do that. And I felt like all year, every now and then I'd say, I got to stop taking you for granted. You know, like there'd be certain games where I'd be like, you know, hey, you get him tomorrow. And he was 1 for 3, 2 walks, stolen base, double, ribby. And I'm like, you'll get him tomorrow. Made a great play in the field. So he's such a great player.
I mean, everyone but Great Britain has been fine, right? Great Britain, like somebody approved that. Somebody was like, that's the look. Who? Why?
But what, Brittany? I got a quick question. I keep looking at his sweatshirt. Would you buy that sweatshirt?
Take the T off
and rock it.
No. How about now?
No.
Okay.
How about now? Without the T.
But he could move the letters around real quick.
Great Brit on there.
Yeah.
It could be Great Brittany.
Yeah.
Would
Wait.
you buy
It's
it
Great
then?
Britain.
Wait. Hold on.
See, that's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Or Great Brit.
No,
How about
absolutely.
that?
She goes by Brit sometimes. Oh,
Great
that's not bad.
Brittany.
That's
Wait,
not
Great
bad.
Brit.
But it's still the same guys. It's still
but
Scooble.
It's still Scuba who can't stay healthy. It's still Mize who can't stay healthy. It's Torkelson, who we had on the show, seems like a great kid. Didn't do it last year. Riley Green they're hoping is going to be a superstar. he didn't really. I mean, he was good as his first year, but he wasn't like, oh wow, and he was hurt. I get it, right? But they had Candelario, who's no longer there, right? They had all these guys, Baez they brought in to kind of mentor these young guys. Miggy's on his way out. They're young pitching. We already said Manning, Scooble. These guys can't stay healthy. They got rid of Soto. Sorry. So it's like, where are they as an organization? I know they brought in a new GM, so it's like, all right, we're starting over. So now did he say, okay, AJ, you get 3 more years until you were expecting you to be good? Like at some point, the 3 years has to stop. And this is why I miss Mike Ilitch, because he just go out and be like, give me Prince Fielder, give me Miggy, give me Dontrell, give me Verlander, give me Scherzer, give me.
They're doing none of that. Suzyn, thank you so much for joining us. Just a one-sentence finisher for Yankee fans. Are they winning it all this year?
Is Houston leaving the league?
Nope. There's your answer.
Wow.
Boom. That is a mic drop right there. Hey, you're right.
You never know. That's why we're going to play all these games, though, right?
That's right. Yeah, right. And hey, injuries happen, the whole deal. But Suzyn, this was awesome. These guys were very excited to have you on and well worth the wait. So thank you for joining us out there, and have fun at Yanks camp, and good luck with the games speeding by.
We're going to try, and if there's a problem, I can call you guys at any moment to come on and fill time, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
You have all of our numbers. You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers to the weekend, Frage. That was awesome. Second full week of Foul Territory. We do it every Monday through Friday live, 11 a.m. Eastern during spring training. Then we'll bump that time up during the regular season. Frage, have a great weekend. Happy St. Patty's Day weekend, too.
Let's go, baby. Enjoy your weekend. Green it is.